Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable.
Hello and welcome to Tata First Dot Powered by NEN. I'm Devina Lasson. An initiative by the Tata Group and NEN, Tata First Dot is a unique national mentorship and recognition platform for student entrepreneurs. Tata First Dot promotes, mentors and showcases India's youngest and perhaps the most dynamic student entrepreneurs. The fourth edition of the Tata First Dot National Conference held in Bangalore witnessed an immense participation with over 600 student entrepreneurs with entries ranging from hospitality, IT, retail and e-commerce to education and training, health, infrastructure and consulting. Launched in 2012, Tata First Dot Powered by NEN has grown dramatically to become the defining platform to discover and support India's Gen Next high-growth entrepreneurs. Tata First Dot Powered by NEN holds these young entrepreneurs up as role models and creates opportunities to increase their knowledge, resources and networks to enable them to succeed in their entrepreneurial journey, either growing their student ventures or by launching them into larger opportunities after their graduation. The program consists of multiple strands: workshops, boot camps, competition and showcase, conference and award ceremony, and subsequent support to winners in terms of a leadership summit, mentoring and ongoing support from the community. So who can apply to Tata First Dot Powered by NEN? A full-time student looking to take his or her venture or startup to the next level, or a student looking to solve a pressing matter or social problem.
The entrepreneurial ecosystem at this early stage in the country is continuously evolving. So what we clearly see is growing interest. So what we started off there in year one or thereabouts, at that time one didn't really know and one didn't really have an ecosystem, at least for the students very clearly. And that's why we were very happy to partner with NEN. When two of us together, we decided what the program construct should be, how it will actually fill up a need for something which did not seem to exist, at least definitely not on a pan-India basis. It was happening very sporadically in one or other places here and there. So therefore, the ecosystem itself continues to evolve. We believe the ecosystem is strengthening further, and the interest in entrepreneurship, taking up that as an option for people becoming job creators rather than job seekers, is growing, part of it. It is still, however, early stages. It's still early stages. We think a lot more will need to be done by all institutions, whether it's us, whether it is likes of NEN, whether it's the government, whether it's other academic institutions. We think a lot of more need to be done, but there is clear potential and there is a huge amount of interest. We're a young country. We are carrying a positive mood today, and the youth of today very clearly are looking at multiple choices.
2014, in my opinion, has been a very formative year, an inflection point for entrepreneurship in India. One, because of the high valuations, a lot of VC interest. First ever company in India was acquired by Facebook, recently by Twitter. So there are a lot of indications that entrepreneurship has finally arrived and it's here going to stay. And I come from Silicon Valley, so I have this unique observation of what's happening in India, both from outside as well as inside. And I'm seeing that there are a lot of elements that is working, and the current government, instituting a ministry for skill development and entrepreneurship is a great indication that it's also the priority of the government. So these are exciting times for entrepreneurs in India.
Over the next 10 years, India is expected to add over 10 million people to its workforce each year, and the onus falls upon entrepreneurs to also become job creators. This is where initiatives like the Tata First Dot come into fore by helping these student entrepreneurs succeed in their ventures.
This is a commitment from the Tata Group to focus on what's important for the nation, and in this case jobs are important, and each entrepreneur not only is self-employed but creates many more jobs, and I see a lot of potential in what the students are looking at. In order to be innovative as well as create jobs. I think the networking opportunity is extremely important. So networking with other people who can assist you in your business, both from a capital standpoint, but talk to each other. The competition is for today, but tomorrow you should partner with each other. So I think it provides a wonderful opportunity for that. I'm glad the media is here because that gives them the exposure. And where I would like to see it go is a larger number of angels and venture capitalists and companies taking an interest. And it's a natural evolution, it will happen.
On the other side of the break, we'll bring you all the action from the Tata First Dot National Conference held in Bangalore. You're watching part 1 of the 2-part series. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching part 1 of the 4th edition of the Tata First Dot National Conference held in Bangalore. The initiative aims to inspire and build the knowledge, skills and networks of hundreds of aspiring student entrepreneurs. An exhibition was also organized as part of the conference featuring various startup ventures by these student entrepreneurs.
Hi, my name is Jaya and I'm from Danan Sagar College of Engineering. Having just completed my graduation, I know the stress and the pressure that a lot of students go through. And when we interacted with them, we found out that all these social media websites puts a lot of social pressure on them. So they don't like being recorded on screen. Till they upload their images, their pictures, and whatever content, they're okay with it. But then the moment they do that, they start worrying. They worry about what's going to happen later. Their future employer, their future spouse can go back, dig out that information and find all of it out, just with a few clicks of buttons. So that's why we created Jiffy. We created Jiffy in December of 2014. And what the app does is that you can take multiple pictures, you can convert it to a GIF, and then share it with your friends. And the moment you send it to your friend, on receiving it, you can only view it for 10 seconds, after which it gets destroyed completely. A lot of people compare this with Snapchat, but the way we differentiate from Snapchat is that in Snapchat, you can take a screenshot of the image that you've just received, or you can use a USB cable and still download it. But in Jiffy, both of them are not possible. So we blocked that feature. However, where we do find it challenging is to sort of get that customer traction first and show that we are credible. So that is where we would probably face a challenge, and also to get that initial funding. But with respect to taking us seriously, they just want to see more out of us just yet because we are too young. I mean, we are still the seed round stage. So we haven't yet gone to a very sort of funding stage yet, and they want to see some sort of traction, but not with respect to taking us seriously.
I'm Jijo from Rasno Technologies. I am the founder and CEO of the company. Our company is focused on technology-based products as well as on robotics. So our main solutions are in the field of customized technology solutions. We design and develop products according to the requirements of the customers. We have pretty good number of clients, and we have public limited companies, private companies, and various other customers. So our main focus is on product development. So that's why we started doing the service part. Right now, our main focus is on the product called iTeam. It's an intelligent timer. It's mainly intended for timer applications in the domain of household, industrial, and every other domains. Actually, the device is meant for proper utilization of electricity. If you are using a mobile or a tab or anything like that, you usually find it difficult to plug it during the daytime. So because of which, when you plug it during the night, it is left for entire 8 hours, and there is a 5 hours plus overcharging, which creates a lot of problem. Not only in terms of power wastage, but also in terms of like mainly like reducing the life of the battery. So what we are trying to focus is provide the device proper charging so as to make the battery life a little more extended and also improve the efficiency of the device. Basically from my own requirement that during our college days and while going on with the startup business, the thing was that actually I couldn't find any time during the day, or I can set my mobile onto charger only when I get to the bed. So during this time, if I plug in, it is left almost around 8 hours. So my battery depleted very fast, as well as its life went down. So in 6 months itself, I had to replace the battery. So this was the main thought that came to me. And in addition to this, we also were working on other products from a client. That was a customized product for a client. He asked for developing timers. So that way we had our own timer, and at the same time I had another requirement. So we combined it together to form this product.
conference was graced by experts, seasoned entrepreneurs and professionals to further inspire, connect and address issues of these young student entrepreneurs.
So a couple of days back when I was thinking about what's the one message that student entrepreneurs today, I saw many of you raising your hands, want to hear. What's the one advice I would give back to you guys? The one advice that immediately came to my mind, and I wanted to make that the theme of my talk today, was the fact that experience is overrated. Experience is overrated. Experience is overrated for student entrepreneurs. Don't you guys agree? I'll give you a couple of points regarding that. So this was back in 2009. I was in your chairs there. I was in my final year of college. I had started a company called Practo. I was doing pretty well, and I had just graduated. So I had to make a tough call of continuing with my startup or taking up a corporate job. 2009 was actually a very peculiar year, right? 2009 was a very peculiar year because there was a big Lehman Brothers crash. The banks were not doing too good. The economy came to a halt. Jobs were not that easy to find. And I had found one on college. I was studying in IIT Surathkal that time. So I vaguely remember the setting of my family members sitting all around me. And the topic of discussion was, should Shashank take up a job or should he take up continue this company? In 2009, let me remind you, there was no Flipkart. There was no real Indian startup ecosystem. There was literally, I think, just one open coffee club and a ton of work that NEN was doing in colleges. So the startup ecosystem was not very well known. And the advice that I got back then was, why don't you do a job? It'll give you a couple of years of experience, and then you can always start up. Some of them also had a very cute idea that, why don't you do an MBA? They apparently teach you how to run a company of your own. You have no experience whatsoever to start your own company. I thought my family members don't get it, so I went and spoke to my friends. My friends were of my same age group, and they said the same thing. They said, you know what? You can always start up. Why don't you focus first on getting some experience behind your back? I'm sure many of you might also get the similar advice if you approach some of your family members and friends. That's the time when one individual came up to me. Today he's my uncle. He was getting married to my cousin's sister. And I explained the same problem to him. I said 99% of the people whom I've spoken to have told me the same advice, that get more experience 2009. What do I do? And he said that, people in India or the students in India, the opportunities are so many that you can always find a job. But if you like an idea, if you're passionate about a single idea, then the time is right to do it right away and not to wait. The 100 advices versus this one advice. Thankfully, I took the advice of my uncle and started off and continued running Practo. And that's why I'm here. This is what is happening in the world right now. Okay. These are the number of internet users that are in India and are going to come into India from 2014 to 2017. Take a close look at this. This is the opportunity that you guys can make best use of. No level of experience will help here because these are the number of mobile internet users that are coming into existence with every passing month and year. Mobile is just 10 years old. Android and iOS are just 5 years old. There's nobody in the world that has experience about these technologies. And you can make the best use of this opportunity and leapfrog. Why is this slide so important for student entrepreneurs? This is a very important wave that you can make use of. This kind of increase in internet usership will never happen again in your lifetime. It's happening right now. You're at the right age, you're at the right place, you're in India. And it'll never happen again in your whole lifetime. Just let that sink in. Internet is going to be around for the next 100 years. and internet users are going to come into existence from now to the next 3 years, where India is going to be the second largest place for internet users. That's huge. And you guys can make the best use of it. Experience won't count here. Passion and energy will count. This is the reason the commonality between an Uber, a Flipkart, and many other like WhatsApp, the commonality about them is that they have all taken a big advantage of mobile internet. And if you do the same, you can leapfrog your way as well.
On the other side, we'll bring you more action from the 4th edition of the Tata First Dot Powered by NEN. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching part 1 of the 4th edition of the Tata First Dot National Conference. Before we bring you more action from the conference, let's listen in to some more inspiring stories from our student entrepreneurs.
Hi, my name is Mir Sharik Mustaq. I am from Srinagar, Jammu and Kashmir. I study at Amar Singh College. I'm a final year student. I'll be completing my graduation this year in Bachelor's in Social Science. It's like from creating your corporate identity to creating your branding material, from printing your business card to erecting your hoardings. So right from registering your brand to creating a full-fledged marketing campaign, from making your brand a talk of the town offline, to creating your online presence. So it's a one-stop solution. That's how we want to make things easier for entrepreneurs in Kashmir. When I started my startup journey, it was with an amount of few hundred rupees. And my profits would generally range between 30 to 40 rupees. And as I went ahead with this startup, I formally registered and got started with a sum of 3,000 rupees. And then I took a branding project with a philanthropic organization where they were providing some branding support to Kashmir-based startups. So I got the contract, and in about 2 or 3 months, I made 1 lakh rupees out of these 3,000 rupees. And after that, as things went ahead, I won a business plan competition in Jammu and Kashmir, and we were provided some funding support by J&K government run organization called Entrepreneurship Development Institute.
Hi, my name is Akash Krut, and I'm representing a firm called worldforengineers.com. This is a website specially made for engineers. Basically a website developed for engineering students to give them educational contents for free. Not in the way that regular engineering colleges give. Let me share you an experience of mine with you. That when I was in my first year of engineering, I'm an engineering student. I'm from Parul Group of Institute. And during my first year, I was confused to which book I have to use to study, what all sorts of educational content should I use to study, and such sort of things, messed me up, and it really affected my results. So at that point, I called my friends. I told them I have an idea for improving this system, and I don't want to offend anyone, but I would like to say that today's engineering education system in India presently teaches you how to cram things and how to write things. They don't teach you technical aspects. They don't teach you practical things. Our education system